Hi, I'm Dudley Brown from Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. In more than 2 decades of working for Colorado gun owners, I've had a lot of questions about firearms laws and regulations. Here are a couple of questions I get all the time. First, lots of people want to know if it's legal to carry a concealed handgun for self-defense in their vehicle without a concealed handgun permit. Now, simply put, if you're legally eligible to own a handgun in Colorado, you can lawfully carry it concealed in your car anywhere in the state without a permit. Now, what should you do if you're carrying a concealed handgun in your car and you get pulled over by law enforcement? In Colorado, there's absolutely no legal requirement to voluntarily inform law enforcement that you're carrying a gun if you get pulled over. You don't have to tell the officer at all, or even provide a copy of your permit, assuming you have one, unless he or she specifically asks for it. But what if you have a permit and the officer asks to see it when he pulls you over? Since permits aren't required to carry concealed in your car, you can decide if you want to show it to him. But if you do show him the permit, the law states the officer can then disarm you for the duration of the traffic stop, returning your gun after the stop is over. If you find yourself in a situation where you're carrying concealed in your car and the officer asks, "Do you have a gun in your car?" you may consider responding, "I'm sorry, is there a problem, officer?" as I was advised to do by an attorney. The officer's response might give you some valuable information that would help you decide how to respond further. No matter what happens in any traffic stop, always remain calm and courteous with law enforcement. Do your best to make good, clearly communicated decisions that will protect the safety of both the officer and yourself and your passengers. Another question I get asked all the time is whether signs banning concealed carry are legal. The answer depends on whether the sign is posted outside a building or establishment that's privately owned, like a restaurant or a movie theater, or one that's publicly owned, like a library or city hall. Private businesses can absolutely request that their patrons not be armed at their establishment. This goes for grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, or any other privately owned business or facility. If you see a "No Guns Allowed" sign outside your favorite store or restaurant, you have a couple of options. You can comply with the sign, disarm, and take your chances. Or you can choose not to spend your hard-earned money where your ability to defend yourself is denied. RMGO offers these cards to members for just this situation. Simply leave the card with a manager or employee and let them know their no-gun policy is costing them money. What if you decide to ignore the sign and carry concealed in the establishment? Well, in Colorado, just entering a private business while armed doesn't constitute a crime, even if there is a sign. If someone sees you're carrying, you can be asked to leave or even lawfully taken off the premises. And if you don't leave, you can be charged with trespassing. So, as with all self-defense related decisions, this is a choice you'll have to make for your own safety and the safety of those around you. Now, if the sign banning guns is on a government building, like a library or city hall, it's a different story. There are government buildings where firearms are prohibited by federal law. These include the post office, Social Security office, and IRS buildings. But public buildings like libraries, town halls, city-owned recreation centers are a different story. In order to prohibit concealed carry in these facilities, state law says they need to have security personnel and electronic weapon screening devices at every entrance. They must screen every patron and person who walks in, and they must have the ability to securely store your firearm while you're in the building. While many courthouses meet these requirements, most public libraries and municipal or state buildings don't. That means that the sign they post outside the building prohibiting firearms can only prevent you from open carrying in that building. It cannot prevent you from carrying concealed on the premises if you have a permit. More and more, public establishments post these signs as a way of bullying citizens into giving up their rights, which is why RMGO has fought to hold these taxpayer-funded facilities accountable, and why it's so important you know your rights when it comes to our state gun laws. Well, I hope this information helps you as much as it's helped thousands of our members over the years. Knowing your rights ensures you can exercise them freely. If you want to make a difference in the fight for our gun rights in Colorado, or you just want to join in the conversation, please join Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our email alerts.